Welcome to Kakadu National Park, one of Australia's best known national parks, not just by Australians but all around the world thanks to movies like Crocodile Dundee from the 80s and the 90s.
Like Crocodile Dundee?
Yeah, straight to heaven for Mick Dundee.
Kakadu and Litchfield are both just a few hours from Darwin, but that's sort of where the similarities end. Litchfield's all about the waterfalls and swimming holes, whereas Kakadu sort of draws people in to see the abundant wildlife, spectacular vistas, and the rock art. We start this video on the yellow Water Billabong, spotting crocodiles, buffalo, and abundant bird life, and then we sort of switch over and we start looking at things like Cahill's Crossing, Ubirr, and some of the rock art that you can find in and around Kakadu. Best times for Billabong tours are sunrise or sunset, with the obvious drawback being for sunrise is the early start, but the cool mornings, less chance of wind across the water sort of made it a great choice for us. We were staying at the Cooinda Lodge camping ground, so it was just a short walk up to reception. Then you get on a bus and it takes you about 5 minutes down the road to where you get onto the boats. Once aboard, you get a sort of rolling commentary on birds, crocodile, history by sort of knowledgeable guides. All the seats are pretty close together or close to the action, so you sort of see everything, but you can get up and move around as, you know, if the boat's not too full, you can sort of move up to the front or across to the different sides and get a good sort of a view on different things.
Burning your eyes out, you can see the spider web all over the place. But yeah, the worst thing about not taking the time to have a look is we're nearly always busy for somebody else. It's the most frustrating thing. Somebody else is stealing our mornings off us, unless this is your job, you know. The body ratio of any animal on the planet. They've got a toe that's about a third their body length, you know, which is just massive. So they've got these big, massive spidery feet, and they use them to walk around on the lily pad. And this disperses their body weight evenly and stuff.
Bird watchers will love the yellow water tours. You quickly sort of lose count of the different species and ample photo opportunities you get of the bird life, but for most of us it's a chance to get close to the saltwater crocodile and its natural habitat. We were quite fortunate to see 5 or 6 different sort of crocs on our tour, and had a reasonably rare sighting of some baby crocs with mum close by keeping an eye on us.
So Ginga in language, this is another saltwater crocodile living its fullest life here in the fresh. So they could have hatched here, and it may die of old age here and never visit the saltwater, and that's completely normal. So it's a choice where they're going to live. Harvested for about 2 months, maybe 3 months of the year if it's a good year, and they're completely ignored for 9 to 10 months of the year. So that's that sustainable harvest. So this is law place. It's not a set of, you know, guidelines. This is law. Now, nobody hunts whistle duck and magpie geese with a stick anymore. They're using shotguns. It's 2026 here as well. But the same law still applies. You only ever take what you need, not what you want. Very different concept. Over on our left-hand side, please. Top of that paperbark tree above the pandemic at about 10:45.
While we were visiting the Yellow Waters area, we stayed at Cooinda Lodge or Cooinda Resort camping grounds. The sites here were pretty large, grassy sites with plenty of shade. I think they've also got cabins and those sorts of things on offer as well. There's a bar, a restaurant. The restaurant had, and the bar area had these nice water foggy things for the hot days. And while we're there, the girls did some gin tasting, a bit of a swim in the pool. Managed to do some fishing off the floating dock down at the waterhole, which was nice. There's so much fish life there at dusk. They're just everywhere. Tarpon, barramundi, Saratoga, archerfish, all those sorts of things. Odd crocodile swam or two swam past while we're there having a fish. But at that time of night, the real killers were the mosquitoes down there. That was savage. But the fishing area is quite safe. It's on a floating dock with nice high handrail around it. So as long as you're keeping your wits about you, not hanging out over the side of it, it seemed pretty safe to me. While we're over in that part of Kakadu, we ran up and checked out the Nanguluwurr. Sorry, it's a tough word to say. Nanguluwurr rock art. The road over there was fine. Two-wheel drive, sort of standard. You could take a Avis Camry in there probably. The walk's a bit of a walk to get up to the art site. On the day we ran, it was pretty warm, so sort of strongly recommend take plenty of water for the hike, and particularly if it is one of those hotter sort of days. There's plenty of shade in places along the track, and it's mostly pretty level until you get to the last few hundred metres, and there's a bit of a climb at that stage. The track itself is good till you get to that part, and then it's a little bit slightly more scrambly as you go up that last little bit. It's still easy, but once you get up there, the artwork itself is amazing, and definitely well worth the walk. The piece I found most interesting was of a tall ship, but not that it's just an early recording of a European vessel, but the fact that the coast is about 300 kilometres from this point meant that someone saw the vessel, walked back, probably sharing the story all the way with people that he or she met, and then painted a pretty accurate picture on a lump of rock hundreds of kilometres away from the coast. I just find that amazing. The other art there is all good, and there's the picture boards that sort of explain what sort of the more significant pieces are and say the story that they're telling. So yeah, definitely well worth the time and effort to go for a walk up to the art site. For the northeastern side of the park, like Ubirr and Car Hills Crossing, we chose to stay at the National Park's Merle campground. As you can see, the road in the sort of early part of the season, you need to make some minor water crossings, which would be fine in most cars, but sort of standard clearance. But if you're in a little Yaris or something like that, you might want to check it out. Merle Campground has toilets. I think it's got cold showers, heaps of sunny or shady sites, whatever floats your boat there. You can't book it, so you have to, it's like a first in, first serve, so get in early to get your sites out there. From there, it's either a walk, a reasonably short walk, or a short drive to Car Hills Crossing, which is pretty handy. We were a bit early in the season to see crocs at Car Hills, as the runoff was still sort of happening around the place, and the crocs sort of dispersed to get their easy feed in that runoff sort of period, so they don't sort of hang around the crossing as much. But you can still go there. We did some fishing there on the lower side of the causeway on a sort of a run-in tide. They seem to be biting over there. Otherwise, it's just entertaining just to watch the cars crossing the river. The occasional fisherman sort of braving the crossing, sort of a waist-deep water. Wasn't really for me. I stayed up in the rocks, nice and dry, and out of the Bidey's way. Ubirr itself is a beautiful sort of a part of the park. It's only a few more minutes up the road. It has some great art sites, and you sort of go up on top of the rock for your sunsets, sunset viewings. It's pretty easy sort of a walk. You might have to use your hands in a few spots just to help you once you're going up the rock itself for the sunset viewing, but once you get up there, it's sort of 360-degree views of just lush floodplains, and it's really just a nice place to sit down and chill and watch the world go by.
Speed to the city streets, we began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals they take us higher. The night's young, it has just begun as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night,